As we begin this part of the tribute for our Baba Herman Ferguson and our Mama Yalua Ferguson, for people who know, this is another example of revolutionary love, black love, revolutionary black nationalism, culture as a weapon. From one couple, Herman and Yalua Ferguson, to this other couple, George Edward Tate and Akosawa Tate. We could not do a tribute to Herman and Yalua and not have these two warriors as a part of it. Now again, I don't know what they're going to gift them with, but I just know that both of them, Yalua loves when Akosawa does Round Midnight. Herman loves when George Edward Tate does the Black Brigade. So I'm not giving any hints. I'm just saying.
I wasn't going to sing Round Midnight, but but Mama Ferguson is going like this, so if I may have permission. It begins to tell round midnight, round midnight, I do very well till after sunsets, supper time, I'm feeling bad, but it really gets sad around midnight. Memories often come around midnight. Round midnight, I haven't got the heart to face those memories when my heart is still with you. When, oh, midnight, you know it too. When some quarrel we had needs mending, does it mean that this whole affair's got to be ending? No, 'cause darling, I need you, and lately I'm beginning to find that you are out of my arms, and I'm out of my mind. Let our love take wing around the midnight hour. Let the angels sing of your returning, and you let your love be saved. at naughty old midnight. Boom. That naughty old midnight. Boom. That naughty old midnight, he keeps creeping and he keeps crawling around at midnight.
First of all, free the land. Black power. Hotep, Afarigani, Bohotasen, Lafia. Y'all getting weaker and weaker. And before I do the poem that Barbara Ferguson requests, I want to mention just a couple of very brief things. One is that Barbara Ferguson has a lot to do with my development. I mean, this is his tribute, so I'm making a public statement. During the period that I was making a metamorphosis from being a Negro to a nationalist, there were certain people who were instrumental, and I've talked about some of these people, like Carlos Cooks, like Nombe Brath, of course, Malcolm X, etc. That's the beginning of the 60s to the mid 60s. I mean, it's packed with these individuals. But the end of the towards the end of the 60s, I saw this young man. I mean, I was younger. I was like very young. But Barbara Herman Ferguson speaking at IS 201, and his level of clarity and the fire of his commitment and his brilliance. I mean, I was just captivated. And sometimes people would ask me, why do I not turn around or do something else or whatever? But it's because I've been groomed and cultivated by so many great people, and Barbara Ferguson is among those people. And I thank you. I thank you so much. I really thank you. Asante Sana. Madasi. So, as you know, he has a book out that you should have read, and I was trying to find words to really deal with the importance of that book, that is a revolutionary effort and love effort of both Bob and Mama Ferguson. And it's about the journey of Barbara Ferguson, the political and militant journey of Barbara Ferguson. And I was never satisfied in terms of trying to capture what the book represents and what his life represents before as well as now, because he still inspires me. So this was a response to the book that I'll share with you. Herman Ferguson's memoir is a masterpiece of mindfulness and a minefield of militancy. Co-written with his wife, Mama Yalua Ferguson. The book is a workshop of wisdom and wit. Each page is a print fest of passion. Each paragraph holds a patent on purpose. Barbara Ferguson's life and labor are liberation landmarks of commitment and consistency, integrity and intensity, dignity and daring. Barbara Ferguson walks the way of the warrior with the width of the world, with the weight of the word. His book is a blueprint of blackness and a bulletin board of battle. It is as insightful as it is inspirational and as informative as it is instructive. The work is as historic as the writer is heroic. Barbara Herman Ferguson's book, An Unlikely Warrior Evolution of a Black Revolutionary, is ultimately a breakthrough biography that simultaneously succeeds in being a handbook of detail and a heartbeat of discipline. Barbara Herman Ferguson's book blesses us with and bestows upon us a nomenclature of nationalism within a lexicon of longevity. Without further ado, the Black Brigade. I would say next year the Black Brigade will be 40 years old. They sat in semi-darkness, their shadows stretching long. A brotherhood of blackness 27 strong. They had made a resolution to the sound of sacred rains. By the blood of all their ancestors, they would break the black man's chains. They had studied hard their history. They had watched with wistful eyes. They had weighed the force of black man's truth in the course of white man's lies. They had focused on the problem and forged a sound solution. They would form a fearless Black Brigade and begin a revolution. They knew that killing cops would be a misdirected role, and killing every white in sight would be a foolish goal. But the answer they agreed upon by 360 degrees was to sabotage the super rich and bring them to their knees. With equal three-man units, they made up 9 divisions, each having autonomy to make its own decisions. In fact, they would not meet again until their work was done. So they set about to wage a war they had already won. They spread across the country, brilliant black birds of prey, and lay in wait for their target date, the 25th day of May. 'Twas round about midnight when the battle began. 'Twas round about midnight when the fertilizer hit the fan. The first unit caused fire to flood the face of night, conflagrations that quickly consumed every bank in sight. When even the U.S. Mint had seen its final spark, they saluted the spirit of Shaka and dispersed into the dark. The second unit caused the blackout to sweep across the land. They moved through the major cities, their craft and their command. And after the final auxiliary generator had been discovered and destroyed, they poured a libation for Lewis H. Latimer and vanished into the void. The third unit attacked the airways, cut communications cold. Then they tied up transportation and watched the panic unfold. And after they finished their mission and the land was filled with fright, they whispered a word for Granville T. Woods and went into the night. The fourth unit blew up the factories, the industries, the plants, the mills, employing dazzling demolition and detonation skills. And as soon as they disposed of the last item on their list, they expressed a moment for Elijah McCoy and moved into the mist. The fifth unit blew up the stock exchange, sending securities up in smoke, finished their mission a moment before a smiling sun awoke. They waited until the darkness had given way and gone, then mourned for Marcus Garvey and disappeared into the dawn. The 6th unit struck the shipyards, the crafts, the cargo, the stock. They hit the harbors, the piers and ports, till they destroyed the final dock. Then they faced the rising sun and through its brightest ray, sent a cable to Sinkay and diffused into the day. The 7th unit assailed the arsenals, and in a deafening flash, all the arms and ammunition were reduced to smoke and ash. They advanced into the atmosphere, breathing a timeless tune after praying for Gabriel Prosser and nestling into the noon. Upon Fort Knox, the earth, upon Fort Knox, the 8th unit fell, while wondering at its worth. Whatever reserves of gold remained, they returned to Mother Earth. They had discovered it was little more than a decorated dune, so they paid tribute to Tutankhamun and tipped into afternoon. The 9th unit was the death squad, and to their name held true. They killed the captains of industry and the families of the few. And when the remnants of the super rich had been removed from all their might, in the nimbus of Nat Turner, they eased into evening light. The country was in a state of shock, ash and blood and death. Some could not speak a single sound, others held back their breath. The air was filled with frozen fear, the ground was drenched with dung. Then came the rain like a burning blues, a song already sung. The Pentagon received a package from a source unheard, unseen, a roll of gold papyrus with letters red, black, and green. It told of the 27 and the details of the day and how after their deed was done, they each had gone their way. How could the speeder cries went out? Can anybody tell? A mere 27 black men could not have caused this hell, but then someone seemed to remember how 5,000 people were fed on 2 single fish and a mere 5 loaves of bread. From somewhere in the stratosphere came sounds of bird and train. From somewhere in the hemisphere, Hannibal hewed a hurricane. And somewhere moved the Black Brigade, their shadows growing big. Just a band of black musicians on just another gig.
Thankfully, we were able to record some of the brothers they called in. So you are going to hear the recording of Sundiata Akoli, you're going to hear Jaleel Muntakim, and you're going to hear Mumia, and you're going to hear Abdul Majid. And then we're going to have statements read from Brother Russell Maroon Schultz. We got one from Seth, so that will be read. And I want you to know, Yalua and Herman, Veronta Bowers, because I spoke with him, and he wanted to do a tribute, but because of, like you said on the show last night, he's still fighting to get out, although he's supposed to be out 10 years ago. So he was advised by his attorneys that it wasn't a good idea for him to record because they can always twist it and turn it. But he wanted you to know that he sends you his love, and he sends you many, many wishes for life and love and revolutionary greetings, and he asked me to make sure that I said that to you. We'll hear the recordings of our political prisoners as they pay tribute to Herman and Yalua Ferguson.
Assalamu alaikum. Just want to give a shout out to Herman and Ayalua, wishing them both a healthy and good new year, and inshallah that they continue on doing the work they've been doing. And I want to thank them both for the contributions that they made to my growth and development and in enlightening me and educating me as far as the struggle of people of African descent here in America. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. That is Brother Abdul Majid.
Recently, with the passing of Nelson Mandela, we reflected on his historic life and the courageous, undaunting Winnie Mandela. Uncharacteristically, Nelson Mandela and Winnie, we celebrated during their time they were alive, where more often than not, such is not done until a heroic people has ascended. It is in light of this experience and reality, we must give recognition to our embodiment of Nelson and Winnie in Herman and Ayalua. These two warriors for the freedom and complete emancipation of New African people completely represent the spirit of revolutionaries as had been recognized of Nelson and Winnie. Despite the unfinished business to free the land, the indomitable spirit of Herman and Ayalua establish a foundation expressing the character needed to complete the struggle. If each of us were to emulate their character and struggle, we collectively would be far closer to national liberation and freedom. Needless to say, many of us envy the kind of love, dedication, and commitment they have toward one another, a relationship forged in the heat of struggle and the passion for the desire of freedom. It is with this understanding and sincere adulation I offer my deep appreciation and honor to Ayalua and Herman for their sacrifices and contribution to our struggle and the love of our people. This is to Lord Luther King.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and most merciful, I greet you all with peace, free the land. I'm glad for the opportunity to say a few words in honor of Baba Herman and Lua Ferguson. Few people deserve more honor than them. It was about 50 years ago that I first heard about the wonderful work that Herman was doing for our people, especially our children, in spite of all the opposition from the powers that be. I think he had been fired as an assistant principal from a local junior high school in my neighborhood. The people in the community was out trying to force the school to take Herman back. I think this was the first political activity I took part in, at least in the streets. I again soon followed his lead in struggling to take control of our school in Brooklyn. From that time, back in the mid-60s until now, Herman and Alua has been struggling with and for our people. I think it wasn't long after that Alua and Herman hooked up as partners, and they have been struggling together for our people ever since. Today, I'm happy and honored to thank them for their many years of dedicated struggle on behalf of our people in general and on behalf of political prisoners and prisoners of war specifically. I'm sure by now you all know that the dinner that you're at, remembering and honoring our political prisoners and their families, was started by Iyalua and Herman. Me being one of the prisoners of war who have personally benefited from their hard work, I want to say I love you, Herman and Iyalua, and I appreciate greatly the work that you have done and the sacrifices that you have made for us. You have been doing this work for so many years. We need to remember that while you are still with us, how much you have done for us. Although these dinners have taken a lot of hard work to make it happen year after year, I know this is just a small part of the work that you have done over the years for our people and for political prisoners specifically. I remember the dedicated and hard work that you both did to start and run a revolutionary newspaper, The Nation Times. I was involved in starting that with you, something that brothers here in jails I've been into still ask about, still want. Your work and sacrifice has always been of the highest revolutionary quality. And again, I want to say, I and my family really appreciate and love you for it. You are wonderful examples of revolutionary dedication and struggle. You are an inspiration to me, and I hope others follow your example. Again, we love you with revolutionary love. Your son in struggle, Sekou Abdullah Odinga. Free the land. Peace.
Tribute to Herman and Ayalua Ferguson. It is an extreme honor and pleasure to pay tribute to Herman and Ayalua Ferguson, husband, wife, and leaders of our struggle for liberation of black people and all other oppressed people. They blazed a trail together. Sometimes Herman led, at other times Ayalua, and they set examples for all of us who came after to follow. One such occasion was Herman's leading role in the struggle for community control of New York City schools in the late 60s. It spanned 3 years in 3 designated school districts, Ocean Hill, Brownsville, Harlem, and the Lower East Side. And over time, the predominantly white teachers union opposed community control by shutting down all the schools in New York City through a teachers' strike. Black and Puerto Rican teachers, students, leaders, and progressive white teachers banded together in the 3 districts to keep their schools open. Herman, as school principal, set up new teaching curriculum, helped solicit substitute teachers of color to replace striking white teachers, and helped recruit community parents to work as teachers' aides and hall monitors to keep the schools open and operating. The late Jitu Wayusi and the late Sonny Carson played prominent roles in the school struggle, as did the New York City Black Panther Party. The U.S. government brought FBI, the New York City Police Department, the CIA, and the various military intelligence branches into the fray. Plus, the Ford Foundation was there from the beginning, orchestrating intrigues and other mayhem. Herman was arrested and convicted on spurious conspiracy charges, and the New York Panther leadership was arrested on the Panther 21 conspiracy case. All of this as part of the government's collateral attack leading up to its ultimate use of overwhelming police force to crush the community-controlled school boards and the community-controlled movement. It could not have been otherwise, considering the great imbalance of forces between the government and the community at the time. But it's axiomatic that one learns more in defeat than in victory. Many important lessons were learned that are applicable to future struggles for community control. Many examples were set that are worth following today, and Herman was instrumental in setting many of those examples. And now Sister Ayelua, who saw a glaring lack of financial support for Black Liberation Army political prisoners and prisoners of war, and boldly stepped forward to fill the void. She came up with the brilliant idea of holding a dinner to honor BLA political prisoners and their families, and to also use the dinner to raise funds for distribution into their prisoners' commissaries' account. Then she, her daughters, Herman, and other family members and supporters worked long hours over hot stoves, cooking fabulous meals, and doing all the other work to make the dinner a most memorable occasion. And it was an astounding success. So much so that it has become an annual tradition of our movement. So I give special honor to Sister Ayelua for creating a vehicle that broke decades, and I mean decades, of hand-to-mouth existence by me and some other BLA political prisoners by providing a substantial and a consistent annual donation to our commissary accounts. Frankly, there's an anarchist organization, Anarchist Black Cross Federation, that also raises funds for BLA and other political prisoners' commissary accounts. But it was Sister Ayelu's example that also inspired other Black organizations to make similar commitments, although economic hard times have caused most to drop by the wayside. Still, MXCC, the originator of the Political Prisoners Dinner, marches on, the gift that truly keeps on giving. And for that, I and other BLA political prisoners are eternally indebted to the incomparable Sister Ayelua and her steadfast husband Herman for leading the way. I thank you. In the struggle, Sundiata Akoli.
Assalamu alaikum.
So there you have it, bringing the inside into the outside. And we thought that, I want to thank Sally for making sure that we got that done, and also Sister Joyce. We didn't get the DVD hooked up, but you know, this is a community event, and there are so many people that I can turn to when we need to get this done. There are people who came here to video, to take pictures, to set up, the DJ, the cultural workers. I mean, there are a lot of people that contribute to making this happen. And so on behalf of my love, on behalf of all of the political prisoners, that we represent at this dinner. We say thank you.
There's Daniel Bowen here. I think he had to leave. Now, he was Herman's first cousin's grandson. So this is just to show you that there are 3 generations of family here. And we're all very happy to be here today to honor this special couple, not only for all that they've accomplished, but also because, frankly, a lot of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. We love them not only for all that they have done in the struggle for the liberation of our people, but of course because they're family. And we realized a long time ago that we had to share them with a lot of others who've been influenced or touched or mentored by them. But remember, we've had them for a lot longer than most of you, and we were very fortunate to have them to teach, instruct, nurture, and love us in this cold, cruel place called America. We have a somewhat different perspective on them than you do, I think. Like all of you, we applaud their dedication and tireless work to bring about freedom, justice, and equality for us as black people and for oppressed people throughout the world. But I think we are more acutely aware of the sacrifices that they have made to continue to do this work. And that's personal sacrifices, professional sacrifices, and family sacrifices. But they have remained steadfast in their commitment to the people, to our people, and I know I am very proud of what they have done and what they continue to do. Theirs has been an incredible and oftentimes perilous journey, but they have remained true to their beliefs and commitment to the upliftment and liberation of Africans throughout the diaspora. We cherish and love them as family, and we are also proud of what they have done and all the people they have touched, and we add our congratulations and best wishes and love to them on this special occasion.
I had to think a little bit about what I would say about my grandparents. I remember telling my mother that I'm going to say something. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be something. And when I think about it, I remember spending my summers in Guyana with my grandparents, not knowing why I had to go there. It was fun. We had great flights and harassed stewardesses and all sorts of things, but I didn't know why. I remember when my first child was born, and Colonel came home very soon after. I remember for a little while being kind of sort of to blame of that. But I did not fully understand who my grandparents were and what they did until I had to go to certain events and have people sign petitions. And then later on, much later on in life, when I had to help and started running the kitchen for these dinners and working with Daquie, who's I love. She's like one of my bestest sisters, okay? And all of the things that they are to you. It wasn't until then that I began to understand. And over the years, when I watched my babies, who literally, Daquie reminded me, have grown up with this dinner. The twins are 17, and they have been here probably since day one. Donovan is 18, and they used to be the little ones that ran around and sold y'all tickets, and then picked the numbers out of the hats and things like that. But I have to say that I have always been in awe of my grandparents and really what they mean to you. It showed me a side of them that I had, I guess, kind of sort of been blinded to for so much of my youth. And while I may not have admitted this many years ago, I can say now proudly that there are 2 people in this world that I could not imagine living without, and maybe even want to be like when I grow up, okay? So I say to you that I understand, that we appreciate your struggle, that we appreciate your sacrifices and everything that you have done for the freedom of our people.
Okay, so without any further ado, we want to thank everyone for their tributes. Wait a minute, my students know, I just want to, okay, that's my crew back there. You know when people say ride or die? Those are they graduated. They are no longer my students in my classes now, but they come back. And one of them said, Miss, what do you think? We was not gonna miss this. We come here every year. So I want to say thank you to Teresa, Danielle, Trishana, Clarissa, Ashley, Michelle. I want to say thank you to all of y'all, Kaya, for being here and doing this work. So I want to bring this sister up here, DK Dyson, and so you can put up her CD, right? DK Dyson, remember that name. She is another sister that is on our CD, Freedom Ain't Free. The name of her song is Freedom Ain't Free. And just to give you a little story about when we did this CD, Mogadishu went to pick DK up. She was writing the song in the car. His sons were working their magic in the studio. And it all came together for this phenomenal song. So get ready for a phenomenal artist who we are so incredibly appreciative, and no stranger to MXCC, because I found out about her from a number of years ago when she participated, and I bought her CDs in and I listened to them because they are food for the spirit and the soul and the mind.
And everybody sit up straight for a minute. Let's sit up straight. You know we built the pyramids, right? Okay, so let's breathe in deep and breathe out love and light to the Fergusons here so that they can have continued health, life, and longevity and strength. So let's breathe in deep and hold it. Hold it, sit up straighter. You can breathe in some more. And blow out your air towards this powerful couple so that they can have what I just talked about. Let's blow it out on Shu, the goddess of air. Shh. One more time, raise your hands up now. Raise your hands up. Breathe in deep. Sit up straight, sit up straight. They're strong people. Breathe in some more. Now breathe, close your eyes, and think of love, longevity, strength, and blow it towards their way so this family can continue to grow and free more of our political prisoners. All right? And let's bring our hands down. Remember, we are powerful, more powerful than we think we are. We are powerful together. All right, so on the strength of my mother, Vivian Dyson, my father, James Dyson, my brother, Setu Jim Dyson, who died in the struggle. Brownsville, Ocean Hill, Brownsville, PS 28. 271. I'm here on the strength of Brooklyn. And I love all of y'all. And I take this very serious. Ashe. Blackness flows as molten gold from the motherland you see. But locked hard in this matrix box, freedom ain't never gonna be free. Blackness flows as molten gold from the motherland you see. But blocked hard in this matrix box, freedom ain't never, never, never gonna be free. Iba orisha mawo alawoye yokode. Iba orisha mawo alawoye yokode. maisha mauo alawoye yokode.
I want to have Ann is going to come and read Seth.
Greetings, family, on our 18th annual dinner tribute to the families of political prisoners and prisoners of war, with special emphasis to the dynamic duo, Baba Herman Ferguson and Queen Mother, Sister Yalua Ferguson. At this honorable occasion where we lift up voices, fists, and vociferate acclaims, we've come together this night as family, united, purposeful, and dedicated. We rise to the occasion and extend our strong love and nod to each other, recognizing all of the many, many thanks that are due you for all the sacrifices you have given us. We salute you, this family of comrades past and present. Know we honor you among us who keep the struggle of resistance recognizable and moving forward. I'd like to add to that honor view. By shouting aloud, honored family, lift your voices along with mine in honor of two awe-inspiring honorees, Yalua and Baba, whose stories are known and renowned. Add your voices to mine with love and honor to our dynamic duo. To families present, representatives of sisters and brothers still confined, and remembrance of those who have passed on. Know that we all share the deepest, profoundest prayers and respect for Herman and Yalua, that they will be honored, remembered, and we will be liberated and free. And afterwards, we'll meet like this and plan additional levels of our greatness. Love to you all, honor and appreciation to all of you. I am Seth Odinga Olagbala, aka Robert Seth Hayes, and together we truly built to win. Thank you, family, for making me a part of this marvelous event. The struggle continues. Robert Seth Hayes.
Here comes Brother Russell to read his dad, Russell Maroon's tribute.
This is from my father, Russell Maroon Shooks. It has come to my attention that in addition to honoring the families of political prisoners, this year, Malcolm X Commemoration Committee will also bestow honors on two of our most respected and beloved elders, Baba and Mama Ferguson, around whom the committee was formed and all that they have done over the years. Baba and Mama Ferguson are shining examples of two dedicated and unwavering fighters in the struggle for freedom and justice. Alas, there is not space enough here for me to detail their lifetime of sacrifices and contributions to our struggle. I will only say that their lives and work have always lent inspiration to my own efforts, and one day I hope to rise to the levels they live by and display. Straight ahead, Maroon.
So the book is going around. Make sure you don't leave here without signing the book, because that book is one of our special gifts that they will continue to have and hold on to. Okay, so we want to start with the community tributes. We first call Baba Reverend Herbert Daughtry up to the podium.
Thank you so much, Daki, and to all of the hardworking brothers and sisters. I tell you, those of you who have never been put away, you'll never know how much it means that people don't forget. I was doing some involuntary vacation for the state, and fully paid for, of course, by the state. And in fact, I was gainfully employed. It cost about 25 cents a day is what we earned. I was doing my time, I was going to do life on the installment plan, a couple of years here, 5 years there. So what you're doing and what all of you are doing, I see Lumumba over there, I think, and all of the people who've been working so hard, I salute you. I had to be here for Herman and Yalua. I guess to some extent, I'm responsible for, I let Sonny Carson of Ubadiga talk to me and said, Herman's coming home, man. let's go out to the airport. And we're going out to the airport. And so we went out to the airport. Surely we said that we were going to take him home with us. And when we got to the airport, of course, there were other people had other ideas about it. And Sonny Carson, we all know Sonny Carson wangled around, and we tried, but they wouldn't turn him over to us. They decided to keep him. And you know the rest of the story, but we remained in touch with each other and continued to be in touch with each other. And I spend some time, of course, I can come out now when I want to, but I usually go up to Sullivan. In fact, I'll be at Sullivan tomorrow and Easton tomorrow. And so even then we communicated with each other. So I'm just here, I had to be here to pay tribute and to join my voice with the voices that have gone on in tribute, and to say to all of the brothers, sisters who are incarcerated, I remember the years that you went away, and I remember the years that even Twyman Myers, I remember writing, who will weep for Twyman Myers? And I remember saying, I will weep for Twyman Myers. And so I will not only weep, but I will continue to struggle until all of the brothers and sisters are free. I just returned from Nelson Mandela's funeral. I was honored to be invited to the private funeral and burial, and every time I think about him and the struggle, 27 years, and he came from there to be the president. And so we send our greetings to all the brothers and sisters. Keep hope alive. We never know what tomorrow shall bring. Don't give up, keep hope alive, and we out here will never forget you and all the things that you've done for us and all the struggles that you waged. Thank you very much.
I want to call Deb and Yah from the Sekou Odinga Defense Committee to come forward. These two sisters, her name is Debbie, but we call her Deb, and Sister Yah Santiwa Nzinga are part of the Sekou Odinga Defense Committee, and in working with them, they have also come into working with MXCC. So we want to do a special presentation to Herman and Yalua Ferguson.
Well, I'm just so happy to be here. I spent the first part of the morning at the going home services for our brother Emir Baraka, and I never knew it would be so hard to get from New Jersey back over to New York. As a people, we have to be in so many places at one time. But as I was rushing, I thought about our political prisoners, and I said, I know they wish they had the problem of getting from New Jersey to New York and back to Brooklyn. I just want to say this to the Fergusons. When I watched you come in to the viewing, to the wake yesterday, I actually began to tear up, because I just thought how, and maybe you get more recognition than I see you get, but I just thought, wow, there were some celebrities in there that were being recognized, but to me, the most powerful couple that came in there yesterday were the two of you. I said to one of my girlfriends, I said, do you know who that is? And she didn't, and I had Brother Ferguson, your book with me, and I said, read this book so that you will know who they are. But you are my hero and my shero, and I just want you to know that.
My name is Deborah Ingram, and I just like to say to the Fergusons that words cannot express the gratitude and love that I have for you in my heart. I had the honor of sitting next to Mrs. Ferguson yesterday, and I was in such awe. I didn't even know what to say. I just sat there. I was like, okay, you've got the opportunity to talk to this elder, but I was just in such awe, and I just pray that God continue to bless and strengthen you, that you will have many, many more years to share your love with us. Thank you.
So at this time, we would like to present you with this. It kind of looks like an award, but it's not, because if you turn it on the back, it says, redeemable for a fabulous trip to the Bahamas enjoy SODC, the Sekou Odinka Defense Committee. As they say, you deserve a break today. I present this to you with all our love.
I just wanted an opportunity to say thank you to everybody, and to just, I really don't have the words, but I want to say a couple of things about how very honored and in many ways humble I feel. First of all, I was just so honored that Rosetta York was here today. You have no idea what this means to me. She came, she's the mother of Bashir Hamid. She came to the very first dinner we gave, and she came every year after that. The beautiful, beautiful woman, and I was just so honored that she and Sister Laborde were here. I also, when I listened to the Sister Dyson, I don't know how many of you remember Jim Dyson, her brother, but I do. We worked together in Brooklyn. He worked with Sonny. It was Sonny, it was G2, it was all of us. So much that was being said today brought back so many memories of so much that went down. I heard Karima talk about, I spent my summers in Guyana. I kind of had forgotten that, you know, and you know, it's just something that happens. So I just want to say thank you. All the love that has been shown me today and sent our way, my way and Herman's way, just means to me that Herman and I will be okay. That Herman and I will just go on, because we've gotten so much and so much from all of you. The brother George Edward Tate and Akosua, I don't have to say to Akosua what that song means to me. I think all of you could see how I was reacting to her singing. But the other thing about Akosua and that song, Akosua is just a beautiful person. She's just a beautiful woman. George is a beautiful person, as is so many of you. All of you, really. I see Brenda Stokely back there, who's just been sitting there. To another, you don't know how many people we've worked with all these years, and have put so much of themselves into the struggle to free our political prisoners and to liberate our nation. And I think that's all that we felt, Herman and I, today. You get all this energy and you get all this love, but you also get all of this commitment. And you pray that this commitment goes on and begins to bear fruit. It has to. I jumped up, my granddaughter gets mad at me because I jump up and move about without telling her that I'm doing that. But when Lynn Stewart came in, you know, I said, I gotta go to her. She can't come to me. The lady is ill, and she has took her time to come here to be with you, all of us, to be with you and to be a part of this tribute. You have no idea what this means to me. You have no idea. It has been a beautiful, beautiful time. And Takui, well, that's my third daughter. I got two daughters. Maybe Takui wants to be a granddaughter, but she's really my third daughter, right? and it's just something. So I'm going to say thank you again to all of you, and I'm going to assure you, all of you, that when I get to the Bahamas, I'm going to lay down there and I'm going to remember why I'm here and how I got here. Thank you.
To Mama and Barbara Ferguson, I like to say that as a little girl, a 9-year-old girl, when my daddy, one of the escapes my dad did, I was still in middle school, and we lived right across the street from the middle school. I still do to this day. And I'm up against the gate, and I'm looking at the police are kicking in our door, and I knew my mother was in there, and all the kids had been evacuated out to school as if he was smart enough to get out of the prison, but dumb enough to come home. That wasn't happening. But what I like to say, at that time I felt so lonely. We were only kids in that school that had someone in prison 40 years ago. It was just really unheard of. So when I walked through that door, even when we came through the Brooklyn door, I always feel love when I come through. If I can't get it nowhere else throughout the year, with all the agendas that be going on, I know I can get it right here. And from you too, when I'm in need, and I try not to call you anymore crying, because Baba Ferguson put that to an end when he gave me a command to stand up and straighten up and stop crying and fight for your dad. And I hung up that phone with like I had a command. I saluted. That was my stepping orders, and I got out there and did what I had to do. So I love you, and we love you forever. And I don't know who New York think they are, giving up trips. Now, you know, the Philly crew is in the house, but I appreciate them too for giving y'all a trip, but y'all can't be trying to stand us up now. Here you go, get the Philly crew up in the house. Come on, Pam. So we did a big photo of you guys with the families, and it looked like it did a move on its own, but it's your nation time. Yeah, it's the heading of your Nation Time paper that they did, which if you can get a hold of any of those older issues, it's like an encyclopedia of our movement and history of our political prisoners. So we'll make sure it's right, and we're going to mail it to you, therefore you don't have to travel with it, but it's you and the families and Baba Ferguson, and it looks like one of your covers. All right, so Pam.
Teresa, what about us bringing it to them? You know, we don't want it to get messed up. So Raza Khan, can we take it to them? All right, so we're going to bring it to you, okay? All right, and the dynamic duo, I met y'all in 1995. And during the Mumia trials, it was real hectic and real terroristic things was going on, but I will always be standing up there on the mic. The young man here is always urging me on and to go after them, the police, in a way that I usually do. Sister Iowa, I would be standing there, and you know how you be speaking and somebody can focus in on you, and I would look and she'd be right there.